Welcome to the first episode of Making It Yappin. I am May. This is my guest for this one, Red. Hello, introduce
Nice to
yourself
meet
a
you.
little.
I'm Red. I'm 22. I have a lot of different interests. We're gonna get into some of that.
Baby.
Yes, I have a cat. He's a crazy animal. Love him. A lot like me, but I raised him, so what can I expect, you know?
Your child.
Yes.
Your child. We just basically talk about a variety of things every week because I don't care about any one thing enough to talk about it for an entire series. Like, there are things I'm very passionate about. I can't make an entire podcast about them.
Yeah.
So, today's main topic is fandom, specifically visual media, our favorite fandoms, the impact they've had on us, like what's really important to us, and how it can be like more than just a show or a movie. And then we've got some personal stories, like stuff that's unique to us, and then we like to play a little game at the end.
Yeah. Sounds
So,
great.
I will start it off if you're comfortable with that.
For sure.
So, I think it's, especially for an introductory episode of podcast I host, a lot of people know that I cosplay Supergirl a lot, and that's like my kind of like, I always forget to call her like my favorite character because this sounds like cringy and kinny, but it's like I'm used to portraying her,
Right.
so I don't always think of her as someone else. In the most non-delusional way possible. That sounds insane that I'm like, no, I just am her.
You are her.
Listen, like, other people say that, but I would never say that myself.
Yeah,
if that makes
valid.
sense.
Yeah.
But other people do say that. No, the funniest time someone did say that was I was at a bar in Florida, and all I was wearing was a blue plain tank top and red shorts. And I went to the bathroom, and a group of, like, very drunk middle-aged women came out, and one of them just looked at me and went, "Oh my god, you look like Supergirl," or something. And I was like, boy, have I got some pictures to show you.
You'll never guess what.
Well, just wait. So, like, I showed her my Instagram and, like, pictures in, like, proper costumes, and her mind was just blown. And I hope she, like, very fuzzily remembered that night. So I was like, did I meet Supergirl?
Oh my god. Goes home. Guess who I met?
Scully, you're not gonna believe this. So yeah, like, so people know that, like, that's my thing, but I feel like a lot of people who follow me, especially on Twitter, where I've gained a following for different fandoms, you know, probably don't understand why she's important to me, and I completely understand that, because as I've told you,
Yeah.
I completely understand other people, like, being introduced to the character and being like, she's not that great. I understand that because I don't like most of her media. Like, most of her canon media sucks. And I just happened to discover her on good media that actually showed her as, like, a very three-dimensional character and wrote her good. And even that I'm not fully satisfied with. Like, I wanted more from the things I even love her in.
Mm-hmm.
But I was lucky to find her in good media, and I completely understand how if someone else found her in most of her media, she would not appeal to them, because those don't appeal to me. And it's disappointing when you like a character and most of their media is terrible, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, but, like, that's a really good point of, like, you can completely love this character and not have to love every single thing that they're in. Like, I feel like people feel like, oh, but I love this character, I should like all the things that they're in, but it's like, okay, at least you're able to have that thought of not everything that people do is going to be perfect, so, you know.
Yeah, like, and I'm like that with even some shows. Like, I'll get more into it as I, like, talk about, you know, what she means to me, but, like, one of my favorite shows is Smallville. And it's 10 seasons long. There are episodes that aren't good. There are probably seasons that aren't great. And just because I have, like, nostalgia for it, I have a lot of nostalgia for the Dark Knight trilogy. Because that was not the first superhero media that I enjoyed. The first superhero media I enjoyed was the original Spider-Man movie trilogy.
Good ones.
But then I started like discovering DC, and I got really into the Dark Knight trilogy when I was like 13, 14, and to me at the time they were flawless.
Yeah.
You know, as a teenager,
Of course, yeah.
I was like, these are perfect movies. And the first movie I saw in a theater was The Dark Knight Rises. But I've watched them so many times, and watching them now as an adult, like, I'll make fun of them while I'm watching them. Like, goofy stuff happens. I feel like I've texted you while I was watching them.
Oh, definitely.
I have, like, an entire notes app full of, like, that didn't make sense. These movies are goofy. But I love them at the same time. But I love them in a way that I know is personal, and I know that that isn't going to be everyone's experience with them.
Oh.
I would not be offended if, like, someone watched the movies and didn't like them at all. I like a lot of movies that are considered bad. Like, my favorite comfort movies, and they just became my comfort movies because I would always catch them, like, during a period of my life, once I had, like, my first TV in my own room, and I would just have it, like, on the movie channel all the time, and there would be a bunch of movies that they replay all the time. And those became comfort movies, either sometimes because, like, an actor was in them, or just they were on, so I'd watch them a lot. So, like, people hate Prometheus. I love it. That's actually one that, like, I will actually go to bat for. I won't fight someone if they don't like it, but that's one that I'm like, no, I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
Like, it's not one that I'll watch and be like, oh yeah, this is stupid. Like, there's a couple things in it that I hate, but I think it holds up for me.
Yeah.
I love the newer Fright Night. I like Pacific Rim.
Oh, I love Pacific Rim.
Have you seen both of them?
I have not. I want to, though. I've heard some mixed reviews, but the first one was shown to me by a family friend, and at first I was like, this is kind of nerdy, like, you know. But the more I watched it, I was like, I want to watch that again. Can we watch that again?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, you keep asking for this movie. That's enough. That's enough. Okay.
It's enough slices.
Yeah.
No, I love Pacific Rim. I love Herman.
Never heard of it.
The character in Pacific Rim.
Oh. I thought you were saying another movie.
No, Herman, like the scientist.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So, getting back on track, as far as Supergirl goes, like, I understand people don't like her, but I do want to talk about why I love her, at least why I love those versions of her, and, you know, hopefully people can understand, like, she's cool sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
like, how I see her, she is.
Yeah.
So, I discovered her and the show Smallville around the same time. Like, I started watching it, it was on TV, and it was in, like, season 10. And she was in, like, one episode, and I was like, huh, she's really cool, because she was actually portrayed as an adult, which I'm not going to get into a tangent about why it's a problem that she's often not depicted as an adult. I could do a whole episode on that. Probably will. But I was like, you know, she was this not fully fleshed out because it's not her show. She was a side character.
Yeah.
But she was this adult with agency. She was confident and just gorgeous. Like, I loved her style and everything. And so I looked her up, the character, and discovered more about her. And what I loved about her was she was a character who had so much bad shit happened to her in her life. She had so many reasons to be angry.
Yeah.
Like, she would be so valid to just be bitter and pissed off at everyone. But she wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't, like, a pushover in any way, but she was kind and wanted to help people. And I discovered her at a time in my life where I was becoming very angry because the bad shit was happening to me.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's when I was, like, getting into Batman. I was like, oh, I want to be Batman. I want to be dark and brooding and wear black and not talk, you know?
Right, yeah.
Which I'm sure a lot of teenagers fall into
the
that.
angsty teens.
Yes, I was like, I want to be Batman. And then I discovered her. And I actually found out that one version of her had called herself May, which is my name. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. And I decided I wanted to be more like her, as opposed to being like Batman. So I started trying to dress like her. I started trying to act like her and just be more like positive. And even though, you know, there was a lot to not be positive about, it wasn't like forced positivity. It was just like, again, I'm 13, 14 at this time. Like, I needed a role model. And that's what she was. And I was like, I want to be her. What would she do in this situation? And so trying to do that actually helped, like, give me an example of, like, good morals that I wasn't getting anywhere else.
Yeah.
And then that's why, like, as I got older, I wanted to keep honoring that and, like, started cosplaying her, not just because I wanted to, like, be her and look like her, but because I wanted to, like, honor that by trying to be that for other people.
Right.
Kind of, like being what I needed. And I think a lot of people, you know, try to do that. It's like, I needed this type of person when I was young, didn't have it, so hopefully I can be that for someone else. And that sounds so, like, full of myself. Like, I don't think I'm a role model. I don't think, like, kids look up to me. I don't think kids really follow me. Like...
But you just want to be that.
Adults need role models, too. Adults need positivity and... you know, examples.
There's a lot of bad out there.
And
so
again,
it's good to have one good shining point at least.
And I'm not trying to be in like a super deep way. I'm not like, I need to be here. I'm not like, also just like, she looks cool. It's fun. I like how I like how I look and how I feel when I'm her. And like, for a lot of time last year, I didn't cosplay her for a while because I was doing different things, and I was hanging out with people who, like, weren't in the same fandom, but I kind of, like, got away from her for a bit. And then this February, I was in Florida, and I got to do a shoot as her again, and it was just, like, it felt so refreshing to be back in that.
Oh, I bet.
And now I'm really back on that. So, like, we did a shoot today, I got to be her, so... thank you for letting me be her. Thank you for joining me.
I loved it.
I have a bunch of, like, new projects as her, and I'm just like...
yeah, so much opportunity.
I want to get into it.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's kind of what, like, the main topic of being, like, media is more than just entertainment, more than just, like, mindless. Obviously, there's a lot of mindless entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't really do anything. But that's not even a negative thing. Like, it can just make someone's day better. It can distract them from something negative. But sometimes media can be really impactful without even knowing. And so, like, I'm really appreciative to all of the writers and actors and directors and everyone who have artists, comic artists and everything who have made good versions of her.
Right, we thank you.
There's not a lot. And, you know, every time some, like, new Supergirl media comes out, like, not a comic, but, like, usually a movie or a casting or something, because people kind of know me for cosplaying her.
Right.
People, like, ask my opinion on it, and a lot of times it's like, well, you know, I'm not going to have an opinion on really a casting unless I see the movie, because casting doesn't really mean that much if I haven't even seen that actor before. It's like, you know, I kind of know better than to judge the finished product by the casting.
Right.
Because I've seen that happen so many times.
Like, let's see how they act, how they do in the role. They could totally crush it and be, like, the new thing for it. Mm-hmm. You never know.
Yeah, I wasn't there active online for it, but people were, like, very upset about Heath Ledger being cast as the Joker. And then the movie came out and everyone loves him. And it's like, yeah, you could have just not been mad about it.
Right, give him a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's a few times I've been mad about casting, but, like, never really seriously or deeply. I've just been like, you know, they look nothing like the character. Not even in a, like, they could transform into them. Like,
Right.
like a test image comes out, and I'm like, what is... Okay, Jared Leto Joker. I think it's okay. Like, fully fair for everyone when that first image came out to be mad about it, and they were right.
the one case where they were okay to hate on it.
Yeah. The one time they were right about, like, a Joker casting being bad.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely an interesting one. I remember watching Suicide Squad, and I was just like, oh, this is a really interesting, like, iteration of Joker. Loved Harley Quinn. Like,
yeah, no, I feel like every other character was great.
Oh, definitely. Like, what is her name?
Which one?
Harley Quinn.
Oh, Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie. She was so excellent in that. Like,
yeah. And she's like someone who's been wanting to play the character for so long, so she already knew a bunch about the character, she had like done research and everything. Like, she cared about the character, and I love when that happens.
Yeah, it honestly kind of felt like they threw Jared Leto on set and were like, here's the script, laugh a little bit, act kind of crazy, you got this, bro, here you go. And
yeah,
it's like,
kinda,
oh.
yeet.
Right, yeah, it was definitely something. And even I wasn't like, I don't know a whole lot about DC. I'm definitely more of a Marvel person. But even watching it, I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. Yeah.
I'm remembering the steps I took off of this path. So, you know, people will message me or like ask me what I think about new media that comes out of Supergirl. And it's rough because I'll end up not liking a lot of it. Because I feel like a lot of it doesn't fulfill her potential. Like, she's just a side character. Like, I didn't dislike how she acted in the Flash movie. I don't know if you saw The Flash.
I have not.
She's in The Flash. I didn't dislike how the actress portrayed her, or even how the writing portrayed her. I liked that she was more serious and stoic. Loved that. Didn't like that she was, such a minor character. But again, it's not her movie.
Right.
So I don't have much of an opinion on her in that movie because she didn't get to do much. So people, expect me to, have an opinion on anything that happens with her.
Yeah.
And just when new stuff comes out, I'm very dubious of it. A new animated movie about her came out a couple years ago, or a year or two ago.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that really clarified it.
Yeah.
A couple years ago or a year or two ago. I was hesitant to watch it because I'm so used to being disappointed by her media, and then I'm like, well, I just wasted 2 hours.
Oh.
But DC animated movies are consistently quite good. They actually gave me something that I was not unhappy with. It's acceptable. And sometimes that's the best that I'll get. It's acceptable, but I was pleasantly surprised. I think it was called Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes. If you want a good example of Supergirl, check it out. It's actually really good.
Okay.
It's not how I would write her. It's not the exact plot I would put her in, but it is kind of the best that I can ask for from DC at this time.
They said, here's the bare minimum we know you want.
Yes.
Eat that shit
That's
up.
That's literally it. They gave me the bare minimum of how she should be respected as a character, and I was blown away.
Totally baffled. This is the best movie ever, just because it hit the mark.
Just because I'm not mad at it. Because I'm so used to walking away from it mad.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah. So, do you have a life-changing fandom story?
So I definitely did not have, something that really hit me so hard growing up. But I feel like gaming was definitely a huge part. I was kind of introduced to it, just through my family having a Wii, and we'd kind of all play random things together. And then we bumped up to the Xbox, of course, and we also did have a PlayStation way before that, the original one, and we'd play, Rampage or Gauntlet, which was a very, old, crusty game. But...
Oh, what's your favorite, arcade game?
Definitely Centipede.
Yes!
I get
Centipede is my favorite!
I get that from my mom. I'm not even that good at it. It's just
Me neither,
really fun.
But it's fun.
Oh, yeah.
I literally, the day before I flew here, I was playing Centipede on an arcade at a con.
Yes.
And I would have spent much more time there if I had time.
It's so easy to just sit there with it.
Yeah.
But, so then, from the Xbox, we started getting, like, they were all my dad's games, like Call of Duty. But I got into those. And then from there, I was playing dumb games like Fortnite, things like that. And then eventually...
I remember that was like the first game that I discovered you played. I was like, she's playing Fortnite.
Right. I was like, I used to hate it. I kind of hate that I play it because it's like... When I think of Fortnite, I think of like a 15-year-old boy like sitting in a basement and just like, you know. But I play with a lot of my friends, so it's like, okay, whatever. And playing that, like Minecraft, Sims, that was a good one from the start. And then just it progressing, and I was like, okay, I kind of think I want like a gaming PC for something that can handle bigger games. And I always watched like Markiplier and people play like horror games, which absolutely terrifies me to play, but I'll happily watch them play it. But I was like, you know what, I think I kind of want to start playing those, which led me into Five Nights at Freddy's, a crazy hyperfixation for me. I got Security Breach. I refused to play the original games because those are like way scarier than Security Breach is. That one is like an open map. You're walking around in like bright colors and there's fun things going on. But I had watched Markiplier play the whole entirety of it, so I was like, okay, I know what to expect and kind of playing through it. But, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to make myself play the actual games, and you can get them on VR, which was really cool, but it's like, I was shitting myself where I've got this VR, and you were physically at the desk, like, playing that.
Yeah.
And they're popping up, and they're like, you look up, they're life-size.
I've never played a VR game, and I know that would be terrifying.
It really is. I had one of my friends try it because she has never played Five Nights at Freddy's, so it was like entirely new to her. She started crying and was like, get this off of me, I need this off right now. And I'm like, girl, just take it off. It's so simple. But yeah, so that was Five Nights at Freddy's really was like a big part. It got me into like getting on Twitter and interacting with people just on that, and kind of starting to make some friends online. I was never like into Twitter before then, and so that really got me there. I wasn't ever really on Tumblr to do stuff like that.
Oh, that's your username.
Yes. So originally joining it, I liked the characters in Security Breach that are Sun and Moon, so I was like, okay, I need to have Sun somewhere in my name. And then I just was like, I'm going to choose a random name because I don't want my name out on the internet. So I was like, Sammy. Yes.
I remember I used to call you Sammy.
Yes, you did.
Because I thought that was your name. Yes. I would message you like, Sammy, wake up, Samothy.
Samothy. Yeah, so it was Sunny Sammy, and then I just chose a random number, so I think it's 56.
Yeah.
And then that just stayed like that, and there have been several times where like, I'm going to change it, and then I just don't, because I'm so emotionally attached to it.
I keep thinking, like, you should, like,
rebrand.
Make it the same across all platforms.
Yeah.
Because I cannot recommend that enough. If you're just like, I am this on everything. It just makes everything so easy.
Right. And so then my name that I use, Red, it wasn't a thing at that time. I think I just had my, like, display name as Sammy.
Yeah.
And then I had a character I created, an OC, and her name was Red. And she was supposed to kind of work at, like, the daycare or whatever with Sun and Moon and do whatever. But when I transitioned into the next fandom, I was like, okay, I need a different name because I'm not Sammy. I wasn't vibing with it. It just wasn't me. And so I was like, you know what? Red, you're mine. You're me now. So I'm Red, and then because of the fandom, it was Red Ghoul.
Yes.
And that is me now. And so I think I really need to change the @ to something like that.
I'm sure it's available.
I use that on TikTok. I use that on Fortnite. Like, I have a little...
Instagram,
that's my Instagram. Yep. I have a little glow light up thing on my desk that has
that's
like...
That's literally you, Red Ghoul TM.
I am Red Ghoul. Trademarked. No one take that. That's me. I'm
is
coming
that available?
After you. And I'm always like afraid to change it because I'm like, it's history, it's my lore, but I really should change it.
Oh no.
Is it not available?
Oh no, there is a red Ghoul.
Who are you?
I don't know. You can do like a red underscore Ghoul.
I do have, I think on Fortnite, the O in Ghoul is a 0, so I could try doing stuff like that too. But yeah, so...
And then it's just, you say red Ghoul with a 0.
Right. So, yeah, I've always been kind of hyperfixated on things, and it was Five Nights at Freddy's, now it's a band, and before that...
say it. We're not like burying the lead.
It was Ghost.
Yeah, so next episode we're going to be talking about Ghost.
Yes, I just don't want to get too much into them, but yeah, getting into that, and then before that, I was into, like, It, like Pennywise, all that.
Which I, like... didn't remember because we hadn't talked about it that much other than like I sent you that one video and then I got to your house and I was like, oh yeah, she likes It.
I've got like Pops and things like that. Oh yeah, I got the It. There was a short span of Moon Knight. I love Moon Knight. Definitely in that Marvel arc, but Moon Knight was just like, it was gorgeous to me. I feel like it was so different from what Marvel usually does. It felt like it wasn't even them at some points.
And that's something that was cool about once they started doing the series on Disney Plus.
Yes.
The series could have different genres.
Yes.
So, like, Moon Knight has its own theme. WandaVision was its own thing. I didn't watch Secret Invasion, but I could tell it was more of a, like, political thriller type thing. Captain America and the Winter Soldier was great. Like, they all had a different vibe. And
Loki.
Yes, and that goes back to what you were saying earlier about, like, you don't have to like everything from, not even just a character, you don't have to like everything from a franchise. Like, people are very much, like, loyalists to franchises. I'm not.
Right.
I don't like every Star Wars, I don't like every Marvel, I don't like every Star Trek, but I love them, like, kind of as a whole, so I'll say, like, oh yeah, I love Star Trek. There are series I don't like, there are characters I don't like. And once a franchise gets, I feel like, that big, it's kind of like, I saw someone describe it as like a menu. You don't have to like everything on the menu. You can pick what's for you. You can pick what's for you, and, you know, it's okay to not like something.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
From a franchise, and it doesn't make you less of a fan if you don't like something, or... you know, to be critical of how something you care about is portrayed.
Oh, yeah. Especially, like, as I said, I like Marvel a lot, but I feel like after Endgame, things kind of were trickling, and, like, WandaVision, the Winter Soldier, Loki, those were really good, like, strong shows. Moon Knight, obviously, I loved, but then I felt like its popularity, people were getting really critical of it, and things were kind of, it just felt like they were declining in, like, their effort. They were more, like, trying to crank them
hot
out.
take, they're falling off.
Yes, and, like you said...
I'm not keeping up with Marvel right now.
You talked about Secret Invasion. Like, yeah, I didn't watch that.
I didn't either. I watched one episode.
I was like, oh, well, this one movie's coming out, and Marvel tends to... you need to have watched this to know what this is.
Yeah, like you needed to watch WandaVision.
Right, exactly. And so I'm like, oh, well, I guess I gotta watch them. Like, I forced myself to watch Miss Marvel, which ended up being better than I thought it would be.
I was okay with it. Like, I wouldn't have watched it myself if someone in the house wasn't also watching it, though.
Right, yeah. I was just like, when I'm at work, I'm often at my desk just, like, doing whatever, and so I can have, like, a little show going. Yeah. So I'm like, whatever. Background noise, pretty much. She-Hulk.
I did watch this.
It was very interesting. The Daredevil part, I felt like really was not on brand.
It felt wedged in.
It felt,
to be a cameo.
Yes.
Because it was so different from, like, his media tone.
Yes. His is so much, like, darker,
serious,
broodier. Yes,
it's like,
definitely.
It's a thriller.
Her show is very, like, joke left and right.
It was like a sitcom. Wasn't it even just like 30-minute episodes too?
Yes, and she would like
and
break the third wall.
There was a genre. Hers was a sitcom.
She literally like acknowledges that it's a show.
Yeah.
And she's like behind the scenes like talking.
Yeah, she's Deadpooling.
Yes. But like it felt wrong in a sense.
Yeah. Which I will say I am actually looking forward to Deadpool. That's like the first Marvel thing in a while that I have looked forward to. I haven't watched the last season of Loki, which is so weird. I like Loki.
Oh my god, it was so good.
There's just so much media out right now that, like, I don't have time. I'm not caught up on things I love. I'm definitely not going to spend time watching something that I don't feel excited about.
And as I was saying before, I feel like they're cranking things out.
Mhm.
I feel like it kind of had to do with, like, when we went through the pandemic, they were behind on things,
Yeah.
and they were trying to push some stuff out, and then once they got back to it, they're like, all right, let's shove out as much media as possible. People are consuming it so fast, but I think they forget that we come back when it's a bigger time gap. Like, you had to wait after that finale to get the next season or whatever, and it's like, I'm exhausted. I just got through this entire season of a show, and you just shoved a whole nother show at me. I'm like full. I can't consume
It's becoming
more.
a job.
Yes, and I'm like, why am I forcing myself to watch a show? It's like, I'm not gonna like it if I'm forcing myself. You make something you like a job.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just too much. So it was really sad to see, like, that they made such beautiful shows. Like, I think Loki still did really well, even in, like, the frame of them having some of these kind of lower end shows and then doing Loki season 2. I loved it personally. I'm also a little biased just because I love his character, but they gave him, like, a great arc and all the things that happened in it. Like, I was gonna cry. It was gorgeous. So but just like some of their other shows, I still haven't watched some of the other ones. And I think they've had movies out I haven't watched.
They have movies that, like, were only on streaming, too. I think, wasn't The Marvels only streaming?
I feel like it was at least supposed to come out in theaters. I don't know if it did.
It may have been, like, a parallel release in theaters and streaming.
Yeah.
Which hasn't been really a thing since COVID.
Mm-hmm. And so it was kind of surprising that they did that. I feel like they knew it wasn't going to get a whole lot of attention just because they had been shoveling things out and people have been kind of upset, which is valid, honestly. But even I didn't go to see it in theaters, and, like, I still go to theaters and see movies.
I haven't in a while.
I'm not sure what my last movie was that I went to see in theaters, but I know of the Marvel ones, it was probably Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which was a good movie, but
I think unless it came out unless Guardians was more recent, I think my last was Quantumania.
Okay. Maybe I did see that one. And there's so many, it's
but
like...
even that, like, I can't remember it super clearly.
Mm-hmm. It didn't leave, like, a lasting
effect
on me.
It was fun to... Oh, no, it was probably, Doctor Strange. Multiverse of Madness. I think that's the most recent...
Is it?
In theaters. I don't know, I'm not Googling it right now. I'll put the stats here, what the most recent Marvel movie was.
Yeah, but, like, right. I remember crying, like, bawling my heart out for Guardians 3. Yeah. That was gorgeous and painful, how dare you, but, like, that left a lasting thing. Multiverse of Madness, I expected so much more from that movie. Oh, I could rant forever about that one. I was, like, so hyped up, like, the Scarlet Witch thing, like, all that, like, it had so much, like, possibilities and things that it could have been, and I felt like they were, like, rushing through it, and it felt like it was supposed to be a, like, 5-hour movie got cramped into, like, 2.5 or 3, whatever it was, like,
and I think they were so depending on people having seen WandaVision, because it was, like, so important for Multiverse of Madness, but, like, if you hadn't seen it, the difference in her between movies was so confusing, and even seeing it, like, I feel like she kind of was done a disservice in writing.
Absolutely. They flipped her character so hard. I felt like even in WandaVision, she didn't end, like, that bitter. She seemed so much more...
Yeah, it seemed like it ended and she was okay, and then they had to, like, bring her back to that point.
Like, what happened here? And, yeah, again,
even WandaVision itself felt out of character.
Yeah.
For her to do.
Right. It's like, I get that she was, like, really upset. Like, there were a ton of things that happened, but it was, like, it was just crazy, the things that they put her through. And if you didn't watch WandaVision, you went from, like, Endgame to that, it's like, whoa, what happened? And then to label it as, like, a Doctor Strange, like, I get it was him in a lot of it, but also it was a lot of her. And
I feel like it should have just been called Multiverse of Madness and not Doctor Strange.
Yes, I completely agree, because it wasn't just about him, and it was heavy on her. So they could have called it like
Miss America.
Yes,
was big in it.
Yes, and that was like a brand new character I didn't expect to get introduced to, and it's like, okay, they're definitely gonna do more things with her, and yeah, it was.
I guess, has she been in anything since?
Not to my knowledge.
They're like filling up the library of characters so much, and like, okay, well, what do we do with this one? This one,
right? It feels like they're trying to do another like cycle like they did with Endgame, where it's like, here are our 20 characters in all their different movies, and they're slowly funneling into the one at the end where they all battle the big bad guy, and then it's something crazy happens, whatever. Like, it feels like there's like, here are 20 more characters that are gonna fall together and do things, and it's like, you did this.
Which, it's easy to do that in a comic, but it's hard to do in a show or a movie.
Right, and to continually like do that, it's like, okay, we get it. We know what's gonna happen, Like, obviously, they can make different things happen, but... and I'm sitting there, like, okay, where's Moon Knight? Put Moon Knight back in this. I love this man. He's got so much potential, and they have done nothing with him. And then they're like, oh, here's Werewolf by Night. I don't know if you watched that.
I did, actually.
That was stunning and had a little funniness to it, but also, like, some...
Yeah, it was just something, like, totally unexpected.
And I was a little confused, because I feel like for people who don't read the comics, which is me, we're like, okay, what is Werewolf by Night? It's just this random
Even people who
thing.
do, it's not a commonly known one.
Right, and so I had to look it up, and it was like, it's its own type of comics and things going on. Well, lo and behold, Moon Knight has relation to that. So I was like, well, I'm going to watch it because I want to consume all things that have to do with what I love, of course, And so I was, like, expecting, like, maybe a teaser at the end that would kind of suggest him or, like, anything. And it was like, it gave me nothing. And I was like, okay, this was a really cool movie. I love it. I want more, but give me the relation. And I'm just like, I feel like the successful things, either they leave them alone and just, like, don't do more with them, or they drain the life out of them and, like, ruin them by adding another thing. So it's like, do I want them to do more Moon Knight? Or are they going to just totally trash him if they do more?
Yeah, are they going to ruin him?
Right. And it's like, I can be critical of what they make. If they ruin Moon Knight, I'll hate it. I'm not going to be like, well, it's Moon Knight, so I love it, But, yeah, it's...
Yeah, that's the way it should be. Like, you should want the thing you love to be good, not just accept it because it's the character you like.
Right. Yes. And, like, I love Marvel, but I'm going to happily shit on them a little bit, because they can do better. We've seen what they can do.
I'm the same with DC. Like, I'm disappointed by a lot that they do. I gave up on, like, all of the CW shows. I used to, like, keep up with those religiously because, like, I started watching them. They started this universe when I was, like, 15. And so, like, I was like, yes, everything DC does is great. I'm just so happy to see more DC characters on TV.
Right.
And some of them were good for a while. Like, I did genuinely enjoy some of them. And then I used to think, like, if you like a show, you just keep watching it. But eventually I got to a point where, like, even the one I enjoyed the most was The Flash. I stopped enjoying it. I stopped enjoying the writing. It was getting repetitive, and the tropes were getting overused, and the effects were bad. And I was just like, I am, like, using an hour of my day to watch this. It's not worth an hour of my day.
Yep.
I feel bad. I'm out. Mm-hmm. And then I realized I could do that with any show. Yes. And I just started feeling so much better. Because, like I said, I'm not even watching things that I like. I'm behind on Doctor Who. I want to watch the new season. It looks great. Like, bits that I've seen of it, it's like, it is back. But I don't have, like, the time to just sit down and watch a show for an hour a day. I don't have time to do things.
Right, yeah. Something, like, unrelated to, like, the superhero stuff that this has happened with me is, like, Grey's Anatomy. Mm-hmm. They're on, like, the 21st
They're still going?
season.
Okay, at this point, it's a soap opera.
It literally is. And it's like, I can
Are
go
the
back.
same characters even around?
A few of them, surprisingly, and they kill off characters so quick. It's like
Gray still around? Is she gone?
She kind of left, and then I think she's back. I haven't watched the most recent episode.
Like it's her show.
It's Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
The last episode I watched, spoiler, she went to Boston and left the hospital.
Okay, good.
So I was like, okay.
I feel like it's time for her to retire.
I was like, aren't you tired? 20 years of this.
You've been working for 20 years. Like,
babe, you got the money. You're good. Yeah. So it's just...
You can teach now.
Right. I literally was like...
I've never seen an episode of Grey's Anatomy, but I'm aware of it.
Yeah. They could have stopped at like 14 or 15, and I would have been thoroughly happy.
Yeah.
But they just kept pushing it. Characters, leave. And they had some do things that were like completely out of character. Like everyone unanimously decided that is not how they would act. And it's like, I get you guys are the writers, but you just, after watching it for so many years, you learn that character, and it's like they were so much better than that.
Writers have always been doing that. There's I don't know if I've talked to you about it, but there's an old series of Frankenstein movies where Peter Cushing plays Dr. Frankenstein, and by the time they got to like the 4th or 5th or something, they were like, oh, we need to do something new with him. And one of the writers or like the studio executive was not the director, was not the actors for sure. They were like, hey, let's just have him essay someone.
Oh my god.
And they decided this in the middle of filming too. Like the order came down. Peter did not want to do it. Like he was like, this is not something I would, this is not something that my character would do. Like, yeah, he's a bad guy. But like, it just doesn't make sense in the plot. And he's like, I don't want to act this out. I don't want to do this to my co-star. She doesn't want to act this out. Like, it's traumatizing.
Yeah.
And to just suddenly, like, obviously back then, there's like no such thing as intimacy coordinators. Mm-hmm. They just told her, like, yeah, you're going to have to do this. Like, she was stressed. Like...
to, like, put someone through that is insane.
Yeah, and they just, like, decided it needed to happen, and I'm just like, yeah, this isn't his character, like, just deciding that something should be done for shock.
It makes me wonder.
Because there's not enough, like, sex in the movie.
Okay.
Like, well, okay, one, that's not sex. Two, like...
It's Frankenstein.
It's Frankenstein! Why does it need to be horny?
Right. What, like... Was all that in the other ones? No.
No.
Okay, why do we suddenly need a change?
Yeah, again, like, it was so, like, shocking and severe for, like, a movie in, like, the 60s or 70s, too.
Yeah, that's a bold move.
Like, obviously it wasn't, like, shown explicitly, but it was still, like, the violent beginning of it and the, like, implication, of course.
Yeah. And to put, like, those actors through that.
Yeah, like, shout out to my man Peter. Like, he was so good to her, like, between takes. Like, she has talked about him so highly in interviews and everything since then. She was like, he didn't want to do it. He hated the thought of it. He was so, like, as gentle as he could be with me. And, like, he was, like, the intimacy coordinator, making sure that she was okay.
Wow. We love that man.
My heart. I love it. The only time I'll be like, I love this actor because he cannot do anything to disappoint me.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, in Grey's Anatomy, there's, like, one specific character that they were like, okay, he's gonna leave his wife for a person from his past that had his children. And it was someone that did him completely dirty, like, all this, and it's like, you did not have to write that in. Like, that did not have to come about. He would not have left his person. It just was, like, a dramatic change in the writing. His character had arced from this shitty, like, asshole to everyone to this sweetest guy who cared about the people in his life and, like, would do anything to protect them. And so for him to just suddenly be like, I'm leaving you because she has my kids.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa!
And that's something that, like, when you have a long-running show like that, it is great to be able to, like, have a character grow. Mm-hmm. But then just undo it is
Right,
weird.
and they had taken all that time to progressively work him to there. It's like, I get that you're like, okay, we have nothing left we can do with him. So they're like, write him off. Get him out of here. Because then he was out of the show after that. It's like, you could have said him and his wife would leave and like, or maybe he's on vacation doing a trip or work trip or something. But like, that was like,
it's how hard is it to just promote a doctor?
At least kill him off.
Yeah.
Like, I would have preferred that. It would have been heartbreaking, but sometimes you gotta do that, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of ruin the character.
I don't know that any character was ruined for me, but similarly, Supernatural kind of did what you were saying with Grey's Anatomy, and just kept pumping out episodes, because I think I was talking to someone about it when I was like, oh, you should watch it, because like the first 5 seasons are solid beginning to end. It starts off season 1 actually a horror show. Like, I watch it, I'm unsettled, I get goosebumps and chills and jump scares. The next few seasons, I wouldn't say it's so much horror, but it's still fantasy.
Yeah.
And it's good because the writers had a 5-season arc planned out. So every season there's a running thread, and every season it gets more intense, and it's supposed to, you know, climax at the last season.
Yeah.
And then have an ending. And that's what it did. If I tell someone to watch it, I'm like, if you're worried about committing to 15 seasons, I get it. You can watch the first 5 as an isolated series, and then decide if you care about the characters and keep watching, because it ended. It was the series finale.
Oh.
And then the network was like, do you want some money?
That's always what it is.
And they said, hey, sure, yeah.
Of course we do.
So they brought it back. Like, don't get me wrong, the final episode had a teeny bit of, like, a possible, you know, cliffhanger, way to bring it back. So they might have done that, so there would be, like, you know, fan campaigns and everything, like, hey, what was that? But it was fine enough without, like, one teeny tiny, like, post-credit scene. And then after doing, you know, the biggest thing they could in season 5, they had to somehow find something bigger than the biggest thing, and so they're just, like, pulling, you know, all this mythology out of their ass, because they referenced actual existing mythology. They weren't making up creatures or anything.
Yeah.
So these are all things that they were able to, like, find in books and stuff. So they just had to find, like, okay, well, what's bigger than the apocalypse? And, yeah. So, and then I feel like they may have just started making things up by the end.
I'm sure. Like, at that point, you're like, there's so many seasons. It's like, how are you even writing things anymore?
I'm glad it came back. I've watched it start to finish. Some seasons sucked, and I'm fine saying that. Season 7, I'm glad it exists. It's, like, my favorite season. The threat was actually pretty big. Wouldn't say it was bigger than the apocalypse, but, like, it was big. Why do we have so much headroom now?
I don't know.
I feel like we didn't have headroom before.
It's moving.
Alright, I'm not gonna pretend that didn't happen. I'm leaving that in. We're fine now. We're great now. So, that's pretty much the end of what I was saying. Like, shows, let them die sometimes.
It's okay to let them die.
It's okay. And then, they still didn't do that with Supernatural. They did, like, a prequel series that maybe ran 1 season, maybe didn't. I watched the pilot. It wasn't good. And it undid things. And I was just like, stop milking it.
They just want more money, and then it, like, ruins it for the fandom. Like, there's always gonna be people who are like, oh, but I loved it. Oh, it's like,
I'm creating a new phrase. It's not beating a dead horse. It's milking a dry cow.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yep, they be doing too much, and it's okay. Let it die. I literally was just Googling the other day, Google, like, how many, like, or what shows have had the most seasons.
Right.
And I think the most
was... Law and Order? Other than, like, a soap opera, because...
The Simpsons. Because
okay, but live action?
they just keep freaking going. But live action, I think it was probably Law and Order,
Yeah.
if not like all of those and like Criminal Minds and CSI, whatever, you know,
Yeah.
those all, because like they could just keep going. They all got new crime things.
Just crime don't stop.
Oh yeah,
but and you can just get new people to replace the others. But then by the end of the show, the original cast isn't even there anymore.
Right, that's a whole different show now.
Yeah.
But Supernatural was on there. Grey's Anatomy was high up on that list. Like,
man, I used to think 10 seasons was a lot. I was like so impressed. I was like, man, this show went 10 seasons. I'm so proud of it. It's nothing.
Right. When Grey's Anatomy hit 20, everyone's like, oh, this is going to be it. This is going to be the end. They're going to wrap it up real nice. It'll be a solid 20, like, good number of episodes for all of it. And then all of a sudden, like, months after, they were like, it got renewed for 21. And everyone's like, oh, no. Like,
let's go? Let's fucking go?
Let's go,
I guess.
Like, yeah. It's like, I love the show. I was emotionally attached to all of them. I cried. I laughed. Whatever. But, like, it's just too much. Be done with it.
It's enough slices.
It's enough slices. Yes, for sure.
Alright, so now that we've done all of our ranting and yapping, I'd like to play a game.
Do you want to play a
I don't
game?
even know if that registered on the audio. I would like to play a game.
I want to play a game. Alright, what are we playing?
That's probably what it is. You pick 20 questions or the other.
That's a little mysterious.
I had 2 listed.
Let's do 20 questions.
Alright. So, you know how 20 questions works, right?
Yes.
You think of it. If you don't know how 20 questions work, one of us will think of a thing, and then the other has 20 questions to guess it. And the general rule is like it can't be a concept.
Right.
So it can't be like life, death, you know, an idea.
Like something physical,
yes.
usually.
It can be a person, it can be an object, element, whatever. There's like things to narrow it down.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question is generally animal, vegetable, mineral.
Okay, animal, vegetable, or mineral?
Mineral.
Mineral. Okay. Where do I go from there?
Do you want to go first?
Is it brown? Like,
no.
Okay.
That's one question.
Okay.
You eliminate a lot.
Okay. Is it white?
Yes.
Okay. Is it edible?
Yes.
What? Is it? Do we put it on food?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Is it like a dry item?
No.
Oh. Okay.
It's only 5. I think you got it.
Right. Is it a liquid?
Yes.
What? So, do we drink it?
Yes. You look so confused.
I am.
I love this game.
It's a mineral?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that just means like it's not an animal or a vegetable. That's the third thing.
It's a secret third option.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
most things are mineral. Like a chair is mineral.
Oh, okay. That makes so much more sense.
I was like, you look so confused.
Because I'm like, am I picking off like it's like a quartz stone,
No.
like mineral?
No, not like a literal mineral.
Oh, okay.
Wall is mineral.
Is it milk?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot
Let's
of
do a softball. Let's do a softball.
I thought it was either salt or milk.
Yeah.
I was like, it's got to be the milk. As
Yeah.
soon as you said, sometimes we put it on top, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
it's milk. Okay. All right. I am ready.
All right. Animal, vegetable, mineral.
Animal.
Ooh. All right. Are they commonly in houses?
No.
Alright. That eliminates, like, 2. I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Is it nocturnal?
I don't believe so.
Alright. Does it have fur?
Yes.
Nice. Does it have hooves?
Yes.
Why do I feel like this should be 10 questions? We're getting these fast. I want to be sure. Does it do jobs?
No.
It doesn't work.
No. Curveball.
Do we consume things from it?
No. She thought she had it.
I thought I had it.
I know.
I was like, horses.
That'd be
cows.
too obvious.
I know. Alright. Have we seen one this week?
No.
I was like,
Nope.
have we seen 20 this week?
No.
Okay. I thought you were going to be a technicality, be like, well, we haven't seen a 1 this week.
Oh.
We've seen fucking 50.
Nah, I wouldn't do that to you.
Okay. That's still a question. All right.
Indeed.
So I said, do we use part of it?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Is it found in North America?
No.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
We're cooking. That just wipes the board.
It definitely
I should have
does.
started with that. Is it prey or predator?
Prey.
Is it patterned? Is it a zebra?
No.
That still counts as a question. Does it have horns?
I think they're kind of like horns.
Is it an antelope?
Nope.
Is it a gazelle?
Nope. I didn't think
I know my
anything would.
animals.
You're right there. You're so close.
A secret third thing.
A secret third thing. You got this.
I have 5 questions.
Oh boy. You gotta be careful.
I'm being careful.
Yeah, I see.
Alright. Because I'm counting the guesses as questions, because those help.
Yeah.
I don't really have any other narrowing questions other than I feel like I'm just like forgetting an animal.
You definitely are. It's a pretty obvious animal once you realize.
I'm sure it is. I love how this game just immediately makes you forget everything you know. It's fun.
Yep.
It's I was watching Markiplier play it recently, and he like didn't get fork, but like it was because they were doing plastic fork.
Oh.
And he's like somehow thought something eliminated that.
Yeah.
So like
the technicalities.
That's why I was like, what is it?
Did we see 20 or what?
God. I don't have any more eliminating questions, and I just know I'm like forgetting an animal. Is it a rhino?
No. I'm willing to offer hints.
Yeah. Please.
Think taller.
Okay, I thought of that a while ago. A giraffe?
A giraffe.
I'm a giraffe.
I'm gonna say Colorado.
I thought, for some reason, I was like, prey, but I guess they are.
They are.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I thought of that so long ago, and I was like, it can't be.
There's no way that's a
They're
giraffe.
kind of horns. You're right.
I was like, I don't know what those are. They're like
Alright.
little bumps.
We did that fast. I want to go again.
Okay, alright.
Alright. Okay, I have one.
Oh boy, okay. Animal, vegetable, or mineral?
Mineral.
Okay.
As most things are.
Okay. Is it edible?
No.
Okay. Is it something found in this vicinity, like house?
Yes.
Okay. Is it less than 1 foot in size?
Not usually.
Okay. Does it require electricity?
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
You're asking like the smartest questions.
I'm the last round of me was not so hot.
Your face when you were like,
What could it be? Okay, me looking around for like what it is. You said it's not usually bigger than 1 foot?
Is usually
bigger than 1 foot. Okay. Is it a lamp?
No.
Okay. Is it an appliance?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh. Is it a microwave?
No.
Is it a toaster?
No.
Oh gosh. You
can either keep guessing appliances or eliminate things.
Right. Does it heat things up?
No.
Okay. Does it keep things cool?
Nope. What? That was 10 questions.
Yes, we were at 10. Does it... So it's electricity, so... What else is there? Is it like a blender?
Yes!
Oh!
Woo!
Okay. I was like picturing the kitchen and every...
Really, what's in the kitchen? That's why I think the bullet is small and that's the blender that's in there.
Oh, yeah, but those could be huge.
But blenders are like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good one. Okay. Let's see. The thoughts coming to me. Mm-hmm. It's getting like airdropped in. Okay, I have it.
Alright, animal, vegetable, mineral.
Mineral.
As everything is.
Those are harder.
Alright, is it usually a specific color?
I'd say yeah, but it definitely can be a lot of different colors.
Okay.
Not that it's helpful, but I feel like when you picture it,
yes,
there's usually like one color that
right.
I would
Is
picture.
it a traffic cone?
No. Interesting pinpoint.
Well, there's one color, but there can be others.
That's true.
We've been seeing a lot of them.
We have, yeah, we have seen a lot of them.
Well, we know it's not a traffic cone. Okay. Is it held with one hand?
I mean, yeah. I would say most people would, yeah.
Okay. Is it a sponge?
No.
One of these days, I want to get it on the first question.
Just straight off the bat. Is it a sponge? How'd you know? Yeah.
They one color, kind of.
There are a lot of colors.
Come on, what color is a sponge?
Orange.
What color is SpongeBob?
Oh, yeah.
Or
even like scrub daddies are yellow.
Orange.
Orange.
So confident, too.
No hesitation. Orange.
Love the confidence. Alright. One hand. Is it used with something else?
I mean, it's kind of its own thing.
Okay, so you don't need something else to use it.
Well, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Sorry. Yeah, you do.
Is it a remote?
No.
Alright. Was that 5?
Yeah, we'll say it's 5. I don't know.
I don't know if it was 5 or 10. I think it was
I'll
5.
go back to keeping count.
We're saying it's 5. Alright.
Come on.
Ooh-wee. Okay.
Ooh-wee.
Is it in this house?
There is a type of it in this house. Its usual type in my mind is not what we have here, but... I know you're familiar with them, too. Like, that actually didn't help me at all.
Okay.
Just keep questioning.
Does it weigh less than a pound?
Maybe some, yes. I feel like the generic one is maybe like right around a pound. I don't know exactly how heavy they are, but they're pretty light, I'd say. I didn't think this would be that hard.
No. I was about to ask something real stupid. I'm not wasting that guess.
Okay.
Alright. Is it a record?
No. That's a good guess.
I was like,
what
it's
you've been
usually
asking.
one color, handheld. You gotta use it with something else.
Right.
Is it typically used daily by people?
Depends on who the people are. Like, me? No.
Okay.
Someone else? Every
Possibly.
day.
Okay. But, like, that's eliminating, like, toothbrushes.
People like me would not,
Okay.
if that means anything.
People like you.
Like, basic, normal people.
Okay.
I don't want to say who would,
Normal
'cause you
people
would figure it
don't.
out, but... Normal
People don't use this every day.
Like, I feel like you probably use it more than I do, but... you still probably don't use it as often as, like, some other people would.
Is it a cutting board?
No. I use cutting boards quite a bit, so... I don't use it every day, but...
I haven't
do
seen
cut.
you use one, so...
I had no fresh veggies at my house.
Uh-huh.
You came at the right time
Yeah.
of when my fridge was completely
And
empty.
the type of it usually is not in this house.
True.
Handheld, you gotta use it with something else. Like,
Mhm.
man, a lot of things fall in that category.
Yeah.
That was 10.
I will clarify with, like, handheld, like, when you're using it, it's in your hand.
Yeah.
Like, you're holding it. It's not, like, sitting somewhere or can
Okay,
be in
yeah.
your hand. The use is holding it.
Right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I was thinking, like, cutting board, like, you can lift it and...
Right.
Okay. Is that a fire poker?
No.
I'm just going through the house inventory now.
I want to give so many hints, but I feel like it would give it away.
No. I have 9 left. I can do this. I need to, like, ask more questions. Do they cost more than $20?
I would say yeah.
Okay.
Can I give, like, one small hint?
Oh, sure.
So, it is something that we have seen on this trip. Like, throughout the time that you've been here. We have seen it. We haven't touched it. We haven't used... Well, okay, so we've used a different version of what someone would usually picture. But the one that I am thinking...
This isn't a hint. This isn't a hint.
The one that I am, like, picturing in my head, we have seen it. In use, actually. But we have not used the one I'm picturing, but we've used another version of it. Sorry if that made it worse. I thought it would help. I don't know why I'm like, it's right there. It's so easy. It's not. So whatever it is, there's a main, like, bigger version of it, but we have a smaller, like, different version of it in this house.
There's not that much in this house.
I know.
And we haven't used it.
It could be either an item that was already here or one that we brought. So think of everything that's in here. I feel like I've given so many hints that haven't helped.
No, I should have it. I'm just watch someone use it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I mean, I feel like, I don't know.
It always does when you know what it is.
I know you've got experience with these things, like, way more than I do. And I'd like, in the best way possible. Wait! No, we have used them on this trip. Not here, but somewhere else. Shit. Oh, shit. Okay.
When I have to... Fuck!
I'm so sorry.
But not here.
We didn't use it here, no.
But we also saw someone use it?
We definitely saw someone use it. And we have used the different version of it here. Oh.
The microphone?
Yes! Yes!
You said we hadn't used it!
I thought we didn't, and then I remembered that we did.
We tried! Oh, and karaoke!
Karaoke! Yes, that's what clicked. But we went to a concert and she was using a microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you need like an amp or like
Right.
speakers to use
You
it.
do,
It's
or a
handheld.
recorder.
Yeah.
Was the small version what you were talking
Yeah,
about?
I was like, oh, we've used a different, smaller version.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Okay, but then you said we didn't use it.
Because I forgot that we actually
Yeah, as soon as
used
you
like
said we
full-ass
used it, I was like-
microphones.
Because I was thinking about like film stuff that I have experience with. I was like,
Yes.
well, it's not a camera. Like that's a normal camera.
Yeah, that's I would picture that. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's the color it is.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you for joining us for this first episode. If you're watching on YouTube, please give us a like and a subscribe. If you are here on Spotify, please follow the podcast and let us know what future guests you want, topics, just engage.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter at SunnySammy56.
For the moment.
If that changes.
If it's changed, it'll just be on the screen.
Yep, we'll let you know. Instagram, I believe, is just Red Ghoul. Possible spelling, unsure. We'll make sure to put that up. TikTok, also Red Ghoul. Again, we'll figure out the spelling. But yeah, that is about where I'm at. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm Maiden Art on everything except YouTube, where I am just Maiden.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to lose that, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be that. All right, that's been we've made it Yappin.
We made it
We
Yappin.
have made it Yappin.
Indeed.
Thank you for joining us, and
Thank you.
catch the next episode soon or already up. Who knows? Bye.
Bye.